So something feels a little off about the Legion killer. Its themes don't match its power or the backstory. In fact, the way it plays just feels completely disconnected from the character itself. If we watch the trailer for the new killer, you see the killer running alongside a survivor, looking like a survivor, without a mask. The trailer ends with the two hiding inside a building, the survivor thinking they are with another survivor, before the killer gets a surprise attack and reveals himself to be the killer. So what? You might ask. This might just be a trailer. Well, in the past for Dead by Daylight, the trailers have meant to showcase what we can expect. Now we got nothing of what was trailed here in the trailer, except the way it looks. In the Lullaby for the Dark trailer, i.e. the one that introduced the Huntress, we see her with an axe and then throwing an axe, very much like she plays in the game. The same for the pig. We see a victim dying with a bear trap on their head. Again, very much, this plays the way you would expect. And therefore, if we follow the same trend, we would expect the trailer for The Dark Among Us to show how the Legion would expect to play, albeit in a more cinematic way. It would be fair to assume that this killer looks like a survivor and can maybe hide among survivors and then get them as a surprise attack. Now, this feeds very much into the killer's design and the lore. They do look like survivors with masks, don't they? I suggest that this was the intended power, to transform for a period of time into a fake survivor. The killer is also called the Legion, multiple people of multiple genders, which would have given you a variety of people to pretend to be when you activated your power, i.e. what happens in the trailer. Instead we get a single killer called the Legion, which means we can play as one of the Legion at any one time. This is a Legion in story and lore only. I would posit that the ability would have transformed us into a fake survivor of indeterminate gender, i.e. we could roleplay as every single member of the Legion at different points within the match. The whole DLC's theme is based upon killers hidden among normal people. It's even called the Darkness Among Us, which would make a lot more sense if the killer behaved like they did in the trailer, a survivor-looking killer who hides among us. It doesn't really imply that it means a killer who sprints around the match in a feral fury. Let's even look at this quote on screen, which I've taken from the DLC's description. "The everyday contains many hazards, but the comforts of routine shroud the unfathomable risks of a threat so intimate, so familiar, that it can only be seen in hindsight." Now, if that quote isn't right on the nose of what I'm implying, I'm not really sure what is. A threat oh so familiar? Oh, like a feral frenzy? No. Like a survivor who looks like us, but we would only notice the killer in hindsight after they'd appeared and stabbed us in the face. Again, with all of this DLC's flavour, lore, and design, it seems to imply that the Legion was meant to be a disguised survivor killer, in my opinion. Let's even read their story. The Legion are not feral. They didn't grow up feral. They grew up in a town and they were bored. They grew up mean, sadistic killer kids, like the killers from The Strangers. This power, Feral Fury, feels like a shoehorned, tack-on powder, added when the testers determined that the original, of course theoretical, stealth power was too unbalanced, which it may well have been. But they did have a fully designed character and story at this point, and they still wanted to ship it, so they just tacked on this backup power, Feral Frenzy. Even look at the art of this DLC. The killer is looking into a mirror, looking into himself, with the reflections of others behind him. And it is clearly meant to be an image, which invokes questions about identity, and we can see all the different members. This idea is cool, and it was really built up, yet you'd only get to switch between them through cosmetics. Can we really think that this was always the plan, to build up this huge Legion multiple killer that in fact is just one killer who can change their gender when you change cosmetics? I don't think so. To me, it looks like they were teasing a killer who could appear to be different people at once. The artwork, the name of the DLC, the story, none of it implies it's a legion who are all crazy and feral. None of the story reflects that. None of the naming conventions reflect that. The art doesn't really give that impression. This is my conclusion. All of the art and design to me suggests that the Legion was meant to be a Legion who could disguise themselves. The trailer outright shows this happening. Again, I reiterate that past trailers, of course they're cinematic, but show a kind of inkling of what we can expect from the character. The actions shown by the Legion in this trailer show nothing of what we get in the game. I think that the power just didn't work in tests. It was a good idea and concept, but they'd built a character that they wanted to ship, and so they made this other power, or one that was already, in development, that just doesn't quite fit. These are just my thoughts. This is just what I believe based on what is there, and then kind of more importantly what isn't there. That being said, I don't hate this killer. I understand that people don't like the power. I love the way they look, I love their story. I just feel like their power doesn't feel like you're playing the killer. The great thing about all the other killers is you feel like you are, as sick as it sounds, you feel like you're playing them. The theme just feels lacking in this one. So, that's just my opinion, guys. Thank you very much.